نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي ربنا زدنا علما اللهم فقهنا في الدين السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Alhamdulillah, yesterday we finished Surah Qariya. Today we start Surah At-Takathur. So Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. ألهاكم التكاثر حتى زرتم المقابر كلا سوف تعلمون ثم كلا سوف تعلمون كلا لو تعلمون علم اليقين لترون الجحيم ثم لترونها عين اليقين ثم لتسألن يومئذ عن النعيم. صدق الله العظيم. So before we go today, after a very long time, I was thinking, let's see a video before we actually start the actual translation. So let me stop sharing and then I'll share with audio again. Okay.
الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألهاكم التكاثر حتى زرتم المقابر كلا سوف تعلمون ثم كلا سوف تعلمون كلا لو تعلمون علم اليقين لترون الجحيم ثم لترونها عين اليقين ثم لتسألن يومئذ عن النعيم. Just a few words in the first ayah. ألهاكم التكاثر. Alha in Arabic is a past tense verb. Ilha comes from lahwun. Lahu is the trilateral form. The thulathi mazid form is ilha. That's the masdar. So alha yulhi ilha. But the original word is lahu. Lam, ha and waw. Which actually literally means entertainment. It literally means entertainment. In another place Allah Azza wa Jalla says, "I'lamu annama al-hayatu ad-dunya la'ibun wa lahwun." Know that worldly life is nothing more than play and entertainment. So this is one word, one way that word lahu is understood. Another way the word lahu is understood is that which keeps you busy and takes you away from something you're actually supposed to be doing. And that's exactly what entertainment is. Entertainment essentially is a waste of time. And you could be using that time for something more productive, but you basically lost that time entertaining yourself. That's the essence of the word lahu. But from it, when you come to the word ilha, it means to be distracted, to be pulled away from something. And in the verb itself is already embedded the idea that the thing that distracted you was less important, and the thing you were distracted away from was more important. That's already embedded in the word itself. Now, similarly, it's used in many places in the Quran. For instance, in Surah Al-Munafiqun, Allah warns us, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, la tulhikum, same verb. This is, over there it's in fi'l nahi. This is in the present tense form. لا تلهكم أموالكم ولا أولادكم عن ذكر الله. Don't allow your money and your children to delude you, to distract you from the remembrance of Allah. So Allah is establishing a point there. When it comes to remembering Allah, then even your money and your children are less important. And they are actually distractions from remembering Allah. Actually, our money and our children should be a means by which we should remember Allah. And that lesson we will learn in this surah. How do you take what you have and that becomes a means not to forget Allah, but a means to remember Allah? That's the lesson essentially in this surah. Really scary incident in the life of the Prophet ﷺ. He's starving, a couple of days of no real food. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq comes over, he looks at his face, he knows he's starving too. Umar ibn Khattab comes over, he could tell from his face he hasn't had much to eat either. And he doesn't worry about himself. Who's he worried about? Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the Sahaba. So he takes them to another Sahabi who's a little bit more wealthy. And he wasn't home actually, and he said Salamu Alaikum a couple of times outside the door, and nobody responded. So once you say Salamu Alaikum twice, what are you supposed to do? He's leaving. When he's leaving, the wife of the Sahabiya comes out and says, "We heard you the first time. We just wanted the salam on the messenger to come to our house more than once. That's why we didn't answer the first time." So she gives them some food and just a little bit of water, very little bit to eat. And he tells Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu, he tells Umar bin al-Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he tells them, this is the na'im we'll be asked about. This is the blessing. And compare that. They're getting water after a couple of days of dehydration. And what are we drinking and what are we eating? And how are we clothing ourselves? And where are we going to sleep? Imagine. SubhanAllah. It's being rewired. Our thinking is being rewired. You know, nowadays we've come to a point of confusion in the Muslim Ummah. The more dunya you have, you say, Alhamdulillah, I have a really nice house. Which is nice, you should say that. But you should also say, Astaghfirullah, I'll be asked about a really nice house. I'll be asked. The more I have, the more I'll be asked. The less I have, the less I'll be asked. So the one who has more, there's nothing wrong with having more, but you better be ready for what? You better be ready to answer. You better be ready, because you had more na'im. But you know what modern religious thought became? The more dunya you have, the more Allah loves you. This dunya is not a sign of how much Allah loves you or hates you. This dunya is a test. It's a test for the wealthy, and it's a test for the poor. The wealthiest people in history were some of the worst people. Fir'aun was pretty wealthy, right? And the poorest people, homeless people, Ibrahim alayhi salam was deported. Someone who's been deported, lost his immigration, right? And he's been made homeless. And he's one of the best human beings that ever lived, right? And we're not saying that wealth is evil. Wealth is not evil, but it's not good either. It's all a test. And everything that comes to us from Allah is a ni'mah. All of it is a ni'mah. And we will be asked about each and every one of it. ثُمَّ لَتُسْأَلُنَّ يَوْمَئِذٍ عَنِ النَّعِيمِ. The other meaning of na'im, because of the ya in it, is a constant blessing. Blessings that you enjoyed consistently. You turned the tap and water just came out. You opened the eyes and the ability to see was there. You didn't have to file an application every time. They were just made available and accessible to you. So you'll be asked about these instances of na'im. The way that Ash-Shawkani deals with this subject, he says, and the way he ties it together, subhanallah, عن النعيم الدنيا الذي ألهاكم عن العمل للآخرة. The surah began, Takathur did what to you? It distracted you. What are the things that distracted us? Na'im. The blessings Allah gave us are the ones that distracted us. If we remember that these blessings will be the things that will be questioned, that instead of these blessings becoming a means by which we get distracted, these blessings will become a means by which we stay on track. The blessings of Allah becomes a means to remember Him, to remember and to be grateful to Him, and to remember that we will be answerable for these amanat that Allah has given us, because in the end, whatever we've been given is not ours, it's His. فَمَا أُوتِيتُم مِّن شَيْءٍ فَمَتَاعُ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. Whatever you've been given is worldly utility. And it was given to you, it's not yours. It was, you know when he says, it was given to you? That means it wasn't yours, it was somebody else's, right? It's Allah's, and it was given to you. And it's given to you, it will be also taken away. SubhanAllah. So, ثُمَّ لَتُسْأَلُنَّ يَوْمَئِذٍ عَنِ النَّعِيمِ. In regards to an-na'im for the believer, another commentary that we find is, it will also be the messenger. It will be the Qur'an. It will be the truth. Isn't that the ultimate blessing in this world? What did you do with that blessing? What did you do with this knowledge? What did you do with the fact that Allah blessed you to say Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? That's not a small gift. There's 80% of the world's population doesn't enjoy that gift. But we do. You'll be asked about that too. ثُمَّ لَتُسْأَلُنَّ يَوْمَئِذٍ عَنِ النَّعِيمِ.
Okay. Everybody was able to listen to the video?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay, so what did we learn here before we actually jump into the actual translation? Just any summary I can get. Yes, Rohan?
Oh yeah. I don't have like a summary of the entire video, but I have one thing that we learned. Yeah.
Yes.
So everything that is given to us is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we
Right?
should use that blessing as like a reminder to like pray and worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
That's right. That's right. Very good. Good point. Any other point anybody wants to say? Yes, Zara?
The more you have, the more people will ask you things about it.
People? More
Oh,
Allah
sorry, thanks. Allah.
Allah will ask. That's right. Yes, the more we have, no matter what it is. So it's just like, if you take certain credits for exam, you will be appearing for the exam for those subjects that you're taking the credit for, right? Like, for example, if you took French, you will appear for the exam for French, but those who did not take French, they will. So, for example, people who have wealth, they will be answerable for their wealth. People who never got wealth will not be answerable. People who have, for example, children, Allah, there are people who Allah never blessed them with children. They will not be asked. Yeah, so that's also a very good point. Any other thing? Anything else? Okay, cool. Yeah, I think we pretty summed up was that mostly this is about how our blessings distract us, how instead of those blessings becoming a means of getting closer to Allah, we become far away. We go far away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the reason for this is at-takathur. That is the reason why, and we'll see the meaning of at-takathur just right now. So let's open our Quran books and we can start writing. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The first word, al-hakum, which means diverts you or distracts you. And just like he said, it's basically from the root lam ha wow, which means love. Love means entertainment. And what does entertainment does? Distracts. Essentially, no matter what kind of entertainment it is, it's a means of distraction. Even people who are, who are sick, for example, we use entertainment so they can get distracted from whatever they're going through. They use music and all those things to get them distracted. So no matter what it is, we use this. Entertainment is something that is used to distract. It is a distraction. Essentially, entertainment means distraction. Okay, so distracts you or diverts you. At-takathur. At-takathur essentially means competition. So the translation is going to be the competition to increase distracts you. Okay. So the first ayah, it just ends right here. It did not say distracts you from where, distracts you from what. It simply says the competition to increase. So now, I think all of you participate in competitions, right?
Yes.
They happen all the time, right?
Yeah.
Debate competition, or I don't know. There are a lot of things that happen. Spelling competitions. So is competition bad? Is competition bad? Should not,
No.
we should not, participate in any competition, right? The surah just said that. Should not participate, Hannah. Is that what the surah is saying?
No.
Okay. So in light of what
Yes.
we just listened in the video, what does it actually mean? The competition is distracting us. What? Yes, Sumaya.
What about any school competitions, like a class one you have to participate in,
Mm-hmm.
or like an art competition where you and your art class
Mm-hmm.
compete with others? Is
Yeah,
that bad?
that's what I'm asking. Do you think it's bad? Should not participate? You should say
I
no.
think it depends. Like
It
maybe
does.
like school competitions
Oh, I have an
and
answer.
like those are okay, but the like competitions
I have
like
one. I have.
races and betting on money
Yeah,
and
okay.
like
I have an answer.
competitions to see who will get more money. I think that those are bad.
Yeah, that kind race is not even competition. That's like, gambling. So, like, for
I-
example, sports
But like
competition.
betting could be a competition, right? Like,
Yeah, but
to
it's
see
more like,
who would
yeah.
who would win the bet. So that counts as a
Mm.
competition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can be. Yes, Zara, you were also saying something.
I think it also means like not all competitions are bad. Like there are
Mhm.
Islamic competitions too.
Hmm.
Because like the Prophet Muhammad alayhi Islam's like helpers or like assistants
Mhm.
or the people who he trained, they used to race to get water for him as an example.
Yeah, and even not just to get water, they used to have sports. They used to have sports competitions, like, with
Yeah,
their horses and
depending on what competition it is too.
okay. How do we know that this kind of competition is bad and this kind of competition is okay? What competition are we actually talking here? And this is there. I mean, if you have watched the video, you will get the idea from there. That was the exact reason why we watched the video in the beginning. What kind of competition? Like, for example, okay, let me say the school competition that we have when we compete with each other. Or let me rephrase the question, when that competition becomes bad. So participating in a competition is not bad. It doesn't simply mean that you cannot participate in any competition. You just like Sumaya asked, art competition or anything else. That's not the thing. You can definitely participate in competitions. When does it become bad? Anyone? You're very quiet. She's and Alicia are very quiet. Yeah, Rohan has something, I think. Yes, Rohan, go ahead.
Yeah, like a competition goes too far when people aren't caring about like the actual like competition. They're just caring to show that they're better than everyone else.
Yeah, very good point. Yes. When you start thinking like so much that winning becomes like everything for you. Competition is supposed to be a healthy thing. You should be learning along the way. It's not about who's the winner and who's the loser. And just like what we talked about yesterday, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards the one who's struggling more than the one who's not. Like, for example, a bunch of people participated in a spelling competition. The judges would never know how much time everybody spent in learning those spellings, who was struggling the most. The judges will only know who won. Allah will know who struggled the most. So Allah rewards people when they struggle. So in Allah's side, the winner is the one who did the most hard work. And coming back to the point, when does competition becomes bad is when we forget the essence of the competition, the learning that happens along the way, and only think about, I need to be first by hook or by crook. I have to win. I am the best. I am better than all the other people. And also, this does not mean those competitions that, those actual competitions that happen in schools or in, sports. This simply means when people are comparing, they're into competition in their head. I have this much and my neighbor has that much, that competition. My kids, like I'm going to give examples of, parents especially. My kid got this much marks and my sister's kid got more marks. So that's a competition. Some people even go and do a lot of religious competition, which is, in my opinion, even worse. They only want to do some religious education when they see, oh, that person is learning. Okay, I have to do that too. If the intention is to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and do a healthy competition, it's good. But when we want to look down upon people, when we want to win just so we can be, we can show off, that's where it becomes bad. Yes, Sumaya.
You know how you said about the religious competition? What if we just want to share some knowledge with other people and
Yeah, if your intention is good, that is awesome. In fact, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not exactly, I shouldn't say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, but it is said that two types of competitions are good competitions. I mean, when you really race in two things, they're really good. One, doing more good deeds than the other person. And number two, spending more in the path of Allah. So as much as people want, like for example, I don't know if I gave you the example of when Prophet Muhammad asked people to donate at the time of a war. Prophet needed some donation. And it's like, it's a heart-warming, story that people started bringing stuff from their homes to donate. And it was kind of, it became like, okay, how much I can bring? I should bring more, as much as possible. They were not into, defeating other people, but they were in a healthy competition. Okay, this person brought this, I should also bring this much. So it was a healthy competition. It was a loving competition. So,
Auntie, I have to go.
okay, all right, no worries. You can leave.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. So yeah, I'll just finish up the story and then we will continue tomorrow. So Hazrat Umar radiallahu anhu divided all the stuff that he had in his home in simply two parts. He kept one part for his family and brought all the rest of the stuff to Prophet ﷺ and said, this is my donation. So he just, made exact half of everything, whatever. So he had 2 bowls, he put one at home and brought the other one. He had, I don't know, 2 animals, he kept one at home, brought the other one. Hazrat Abu Bakr, on the other hand, brought the entire stuff that he had. When Prophet ﷺ asked him, Abu Bakr, what did you leave for your family? He said, Allah and his messenger. So Hazrat Umar, he said that he thought in his heart, I can never win from this man, and no matter how much I try, I cannot win. But was he jealous? No, he was not. He was never jealous. It was something that they had an extremely great relationship and they wanted to have a win-win situation together. So that is not bad. It becomes bad when we are trying to look down upon people. We just want to win. That's all we are thinking. When we need to show off, we have this urge to show off to people that we are the best, we are better. That's where competition becomes bad. Okay. So we can stop here, inshallah. I am going to see you tomorrow and we will continue to learn more about this. This is a very, very important lesson for life. So inshallah, we'll talk a little more about this and joining. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta subhanaka. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.